Hey there, thanks for tuning in to our August 2024 eLearning Challenge recap. If you want to see some of the amazing submissions from this month's eLearning Design Challenge, along with our winning submission, stick around. Hey there folks, Tim Slade here from the eLearning Designers Academy. You know, as many of you know, one of the many challenges that a lot of folks have when it comes to building their instructional design and e-learning development skills, along with creating samples of work for their portfolios, is having the opportunity to practice on real-world projects in a practical way. And so that's exactly why we created our monthly e-learning challenges inside the eLearning Designers Academy to help you put your skills into practice and build samples of work for your portfolio without all of the stress and uncertainty that comes with, picking your own topic. And so each month we issue a new e-learning challenge which provides a real-world topic and prompt based on a hypothetical company. And as part of the challenge, participants are tasked with developing a complete e-learning course to solve a specific set of learning outcomes. And we also provide a style guide and brand assets for the hypothetical company, which provides guidance on the use of colors, fonts, logos, and much more. And then, at the end of each month, we review all of the submissions, host a recap just like the one you're watching right now, and then announce a winner and give away a $100 Amazon gift card. And of course, the great thing about our monthly e-learning challenges is that each month, as we announce a new challenge, we have a growing library of sample project topics for you and others to pick from as you continue growing your skills and building your portfolio. So with that said, let's take a look at the details from our August 2024 challenge, along with some of the awesome submissions and our winner. And of course, if you'd like to follow along with me, check out the links down in the description where you can see the details from this month's challenge, along with all of our submissions. All right, so for our August 2024 challenge, we decided to focus on what might seem like a very odd topic, but it's one that if you're a cat owner, you may very well be faced with, and that's managing feline diabetes. Yeah, you heard that right. And so, in creating this challenge, we consulted with not just someone who has a cat with feline diabetes, but also a veterinarian as well. And what we discovered is that for many individuals who have cats that are diagnosed with diabetes, the process of measuring a cat's blood glucose levels and determining the right dose and administering the insulin can be a pretty overwhelming task, especially for someone who has to do that on a daily basis to keep their cat healthy. And so for this month's challenge, participants took on the role of a freelance instructional designer hired by Feline Fancy Veterinary Clinic to design and develop a self-paced e-learning course for cat owners to reference at home when a cat is diagnosed with diabetes. Now, as with all of our challenges, we have a list of sample learning objectives like identifying clinical symptoms of diabetes, how to obtain a blood sample from the cat's ear, how to interpret the blood glucose reading, and how to measure and inject the proper dosage of insulin. Now, we also provided a list of interactivity ideas and constraints, for example, creating a drag and drop for identifying the proper area of the cat's ear to obtain a blood sample, building a slider to measure the correct insulin dosage, or a scenario about what actions to take depending on the cat's glucose levels. And finally, we have our Feline Fancy Style Guide here, which provides participants everything they need to design a course that aligns with the Feline Fancy brand standards, including imagery, fonts, colors, and much more. All right, so now that we've taken a look at the details from our August e-learning challenge, let's take a look at some of the highlights from this month's submissions, followed by our winner. All right, so the first submission from this month we'd like to highlight comes from Bethany Souza with her Articulate Storyline course, A Guide to Managing Feline Diabetes. Now, what we loved about Bethany's submission beyond the clean and simple visual design was her use of experiential interactions and activities to help enhance the overall learning experience. For example, on this slide here, Bethany combines several sliders to create this interaction to help the learner understand the various risk factors that can contribute to feline diabetes. And as you can see, as I adjust the sliders here, a meter provides a sense of how at risk a cat might be. So, wonderful work, Bethany. We absolutely loved your submission. Okay, our next featured submission comes from Elmir Insapov with his Articulate Storyline project, Managing Feline Diabetes. With Elmir's project, what we really loved was his use of videos, storytelling, animations, and audio narration to create a true mixed multimedia experience. With Elmir's project, he also did a great job of using real-life video to illustrate the steps for sampling a cat's blood and then following up with a series of simple interactions to help the learner put those steps into practice. So, amazing work, Elmir. Thank you so much for participating. All right, so the next of our featured submissions comes from Hillary Landrum with her Articulate Storyline course for Feline Fancy. With Hillary's project, what we really appreciated was her use of animations and visual communications to explain the concepts within her project. And what was so impressive was that all of her animations were created directly in Storyline, rather than using an outside tool like Vyond or something else that many folks often utilize. Hillary also created a simple interaction allowing the learner to identify the proper location on a cat's ear to obtain a blood sample. She even incorporated the tip of using a flashlight to better see which veins or areas are good for sampling. So thank you so much for participating, Hillary. Great work. Okay, our final featured submission this month comes from Wahida Nargis with her Articulate Storyline project on feline diabetes management. Now, what we loved about Wahida's project was her unique and creative take on the overall visual design of her project. You know, when you're working with a client's style guide, it can often feel limiting, but Wahida did an amazing job keeping the project within the overall style of what was provided, but also adding her own creative flair with her use of graphics, buttons, and so much more. Wahida also did a great job of combining Vyond videos to help visualize and explain the different learning concepts within the project. And finally, she created this simple but effective experiential interaction like this storyline dial interaction to help learners understand the meaning of different glucose ranges. So, amazing work, Wahida. Thank you so much for participating. All right, so those were just some of the highlights from our August 2024 eLearning Challenge submissions. It's now time for us to pick a winner who will receive a $100 Amazon gift card. Now, before we do that, I want to share a bit about how we evaluate the quality of each submission. When picking our top submissions and of course selecting our winner, we look at it from 5 different angles in no particular order. First, user interface design. Was the course easy to navigate, accessible, and intuitive to use? Second, graphic design. Did the course author apply solid graphic design techniques, and how well did they adapt the style guide to their course? Third, visual communications. Did they use the screen to help me see what they were trying to say? In other words, did they use meaningful imagery or animations? Fourth, instructional design. How well did they create a true learning experience with performance-based interactions rather than just an information dump? And finally, overall completeness. Does the course feel like a complete piece of work? So for this month, we're giving the win to Elmir Insapov. With Elmir's project, the quality and the overall completeness of his course made it really stand out. We also really loved his use of the different types of multimedia and interactions to achieve the different learning objectives we incorporated into the challenge. So congratulations, Elmir. Great work. All right, so that is a wrap on our August 2024 challenge and a look at some of the highlights from our submissions. As always, I want to send a special thanks to everyone who participated and shared their hard work for this month's e-learning challenge. Of course, if you'd like to see all of the submissions from this month's challenge or participate in next month's challenge or just use one of our past challenges as a topic for your own sample project, check out the links down in the description. Otherwise, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to click that like, subscribe, and bell button to get alerted the next time I publish a video just like this one. And of course, join us inside the eLearning Designers Academy, where we help new instructional designers and e-learning developers grow their careers by focusing on skills first. Otherwise, my name is Tim Slade, and until next time, I'll see you around.